What's up, YouTube, and welcome to Codename Scream. I am that horror guy.
And I'm Mel.
And please make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications for all things horror. We are continuing with footage being found with Paranormal Activity 2.
Yes.
I kind of jumped on that one. I couldn't help it.
Beat me
I beat you to it this time. I'm excited. So, what do we got to start with this one?
It was released October 22nd, 2010. Directed by Todd Williams, produced by Jason Blum and Oren Peli, and it was written by Christopher Landon, who you may know wrote Disturbia, and he directed Happy Death Day, Tom Pabst, and Michael R. Perry. So a little bit different. Oren Peli not writing this one.
No, it's not. He got the Pabst Blue Ribbon involved to shoot this one.
Tom Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Tom Pabst Blue Ribbon. We're going to just discuss the budget here momentarily. So budget was $3 million on this one.
That was a significant increase.
Big jump. Where that budget came from, have no idea.
It's the same
movie. Same everywhere. Like, whatever. They had $3 million. Maybe they actually paid the actors properly this time. Who knows? But $3 million going into it. The box office, again, slam dunk, $177.5 million. Wow. So, and if you were to adjust that for 2021 inflation, 217.3, just shy of 0.4 million.
Success.
So another huge success. This movie is just raking in the success left and right.
Yeah, it did $41.5 million in its opening weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, it broke the record for midnight grossing film, R-rated film, with $6.3 million.
Wow.
6.3 million at the midnight release.
Impressive.
Yep.
And obviously, the critics and the audience, they had to have loved this, right?
Not as much as the first one. Critics scored 58%, relatively close to the first one.
Still on the good side.
Audience only gave it a 48%. So
yeah.
Both of these went down a little bit as far as the scores go. Not too much.
Not too bad, but I feel like we run into that same thing we discussed in the last video, which if you haven't watched, please make sure to go back, where, it's those people that really don't care for found footage that are really reviewing this at the end of the day. Yep. So, so we're going to just briefly discuss as we've been doing. Below you will find links on ways to find this. Again, I'm going to shamelessly plug the fact that you can get all 6 of these movies for $15. That link is also down there. You can't beat that. That is
so good.
Such a good deal. But either way, this is actually a prequel to the original. It's set 2 months prior to the events that happened. Actually, it's a month prior to when the events start and 2 months prior to the demise of Mika. He had it coming. He deserved every second of that. But it's about a burglary that occurs within Christy and Daniel Ray's home. Christy is the sister of Katie that we briefly discussed in the last video as well. And this burglary that occurs, the only thing that's taken is a necklace that Katie had given to her when they were kids. So that's the only thing gone. The whole house is disheveled but their kids' room.
And she didn't think to blame Katie.
No.
It's like, I'm going to take this back.
That would be the first thought I would have had, But it turns out, so then they have a housekeeper that burns sage in the house to try and get rid of, because she knows what's up. That housekeeper knew what was going on.
I loved her.
She was awesome. Yeah. But they fire her for it. Yeah. Like, come on now. Daniel's got a daughter from another marriage who decides to kind of read into everything. And it turns out that you can make deals with demons. Who knew that? And you can do it for wealth or power. And you just have to forfeit the firstborn son. The demon will stick to the family until another son's born, though. Look at this, though. Hunter is the firstborn of the sons since the 30s. Unfortunately for them. And then the aptly titled film with the Paranormal Activity starts happening through the house. Little bits here and there. Poor dog ends up having a seizure. They take it to the veterinarian. During this time, Christy gets attacked and dragged into the basement by the demon possessing her. She deserves every little bit of that. We end up coursing through that. Daniel ends up having a moment trying to get this demon out of Christy. Ends up getting, his, unfortunately. Yeah. I liked him. He was all right. He was an all right guy compared to Mika.
Yeah.
The best thing, the camera always caught that thing in the pool constantly.
Yeah, I loved that.
All the time. Like, that's the scariest thing of that movie. is how often they clean that pool. Some neat freaks here. Then turns out that they can get rid of this demon entirely if that bitch Krista Ray actually burns that photo. So she decides to do that and bestow this demon upon Katie. And then we get the events of our first film. And the night that she decides to kill Mika, she breaks in, kills both Daniel and Christy, and takes the baby with her. And Allie comes home, which is the daughter of Daniel, and she finds the corpses, and the baby and Katie are now unknown. And then we're there.
Wow.
That bitch Christy Ray, man. She just, no. No, that's not cool, man.
Yeah, to do that to your own family.
Yeah. It's like, oh, hey, you got some shit coming your way.
Well, I mean, she was being demonized, so, I mean, she didn't really have a choice.
Oh, she had a choice.
Well, I mean, she did. This just proves who's the good person between us, because I was like, well...
Oh, no, she had a choice. She chose wrong. So, now that we know who's the terrible person
I'm
in the
not
room,
going any further into this. This is a trap.
What fun facts do we have available?
So the preview for this film was banned in some theaters because it scared the younger audience viewing PG-13 movies.
Wow.
So, yeah. So what movies are these people watching where they're like, oh, I'm scared?
Right.
You know? Oh. Anyway, the movie was shipped to theaters, so under a code name. Code name.
Oh.
Pew pew. Which they did for a lot of highly anticipated movies because they didn't want people watching them in advance. It was shipped to theaters under the code name Sharpie 79.
That's awesome.
I'd like to know the story behind why, but that's what it was shipped to theaters as, so no one was getting any sneak peeks.
Right.
Similar to the first Paranormal Activity, there was no script. Everything was improvised. Again, everything felt super authentic in this film. That's why no movies should have scripts ever.
Yep, pretty much.
It was released to DVD and Blu-ray on February 8th, 2011, and was #1 in sales and rentals in its first week of release.
Good job.
Which, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Because we had another banger of a film here.
Absolutely.
So I love this movie. Again, like the first one, they're on par to me. Just as much as the first one. I loved it just as much. They're practically the same movie with different people. So anyone that says they don't like the second one but they like the first one, tell me why. Please put in the comments why. If you liked one of these but didn't like the other, because they're basically the same movie. But it wasn't boring. The fact that it was the same family and they just went with that story, especially Oren Peli not writing it and having different writers, how they were able to bring the first story into the prequel. Super interesting. I was engaged through this entire movie. It just, great job. Oh, people. Yeah. I loved it. What do you think?
Again, another slam dunk of a film. This series just does not fail to deliver one bit. Feels authentic the entire time, especially with the cameras they're using. Feels very authentic. Yep. And it could, again, be the time that it was filmed. We didn't have a lot of the high-tech stuff was up and coming at that point. So we still, it felt very real in that sense. Because now you can do just about any of that with filters.
I'm surprised there hasn't been an influx of, found footage films.
Especially within the last year.
Practically everyone can do them. And it just seems like they're still out there, but there's not, a ton of them. There's
not, but, there's a lot of bad ones that detracts people from them.
Sure.
So I feel that is kind of where that comes from.
Yeah.
But absolutely love this movie. There's not much else I can say about it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you guys want a quick rundown in case you kind of scrolled along, you were out for a moment, we have the sequel that is just the same as the original. We have a very, very clean pool. And if you don't believe it, just watch the film. You will see that thing cleaned up multiple times. And then that bitch, Christy Ray, bestows that demon upon her family instead of doing the right thing. But what did you guys think? That's really what it comes down to. Sound off in the comments below. Let's talk on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Email us, whichever you prefer. Let's talk about this one a little bit further And going into next week, we've got some more fun coming.
Yep, Paranormal Activity 3 and 4, continuing this until the end.
Yep, we are in for the long run on this one. And because we don't shamelessly promo enough on here, we did just launch a Patreon for only $1 a month. Come over there and join. You can help dictate some of the content that's going to come on here, as well as the content you'll be paying for over there. We've got a doozy lined up. We will be doing some announcements here in the next few days. So if you're a patron, you're getting first run of that.
And you will be so happy, and we're going to be incredibly unhappy with what we decided to do.
The Easter egg for you guys, this has been brought up on multiple occasions in comments. This has been brought up on the live streams when I filled in with Codename Reaction a few times. So if you know, you know. And if you don't, you're going to know soon enough. We're going to push this one back as far as we possibly can.
Yeah. We don't want to do it, but you want us to do it, so we're going to do it.
So we're going to suffer. But, and also, if you have not done yourself the duty already, pick yourself up some Codename Scream swag.
Yes.
Link in the description below. Shirts, hoodies, masks, all super comfortable. Who doesn't want it? And you get some bragging rights.
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
Not really. But we're going to say that anyway, because buy our merch.
And it looks cool.
And
look
it looks
how cool
great.
we look.
Looks amazing.
Could we look any cooler right now?
No. No, because it's really hot outside. So, with that being said, scare you later, YouTube.